You know, trying to stay properly informed these days feels like, well, it's a lot. Just a constant stream of information.
It really is. Finding what actually matters can be tough.
And that's what we try to do here in the deep dive. Cut through the noise, get straight to the source material you're interested in, and pull out the key stuff. A shortcut to understanding, really.
And today, we're looking at something pretty interesting in AI called WebThinker. It's laid out in this research paper, webthinker.pdf.
WebThinker. Okay. And the idea is it helps AI do better research.
In a nutshell, yes, it's about empowering these big AI models, large reasoning models or LRMs, to tackle really deep research tasks.
So why is this important for, someone just trying to learn things quickly?
Well, it points towards how AI could seriously change how we gather and understand complex information. It's about making AI a better research partner.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is to unpack WebThinker based on this paper, figure out how it works, what makes it different, and what its potential might be.
Let's get into it. The basic problem WebThinker tackles is that even really smart AI models, these LRMs, mostly rely on what they already know, their internal static knowledge.
Right, the stuff they were trained on.
And that's a real limitation when you need them to do complex, knowledge-heavy tasks like putting together a comprehensive research report that needs up-to-the-minute info from all over the web.
So they're kind of stuck with their initial training data. They can't easily go out and explore effectively on their own when they hit a wall.
That's the core issue. They often lack that dynamic exploration capability. WebThinker is designed as a solution. They call it a deep research agent.
A deep research agent. What does that mean in practice?
It means the LRM can basically search the web, navigate around websites, click links, extract info, and even start drafting reports all by itself during its thinking process.
Huh. So it's not just running a search query up front. It's weaving the research into its reasoning.
That's the key difference. It's happening on the fly, as needed. Think of it less like giving a list of instructions and more like having a research assistant that can follow unexpected leads and dig deeper when necessary.
Okay, that sounds powerful. Let's break down this deep research agent. How does it actually work? What are the main parts?
It's built on two core modules. First, there's the Deep Web Explorer.
Deep Web Explorer, all right.
This is the part that handles the active searching and navigating. It can run dynamic searches when the LRM realizes it needs more info.
Dynamic meaning tailored to the specific gap it found.
Yes, and it doesn't just look at search results. It can actually navigate websites, clicking links, interacting with buttons to find information buried deeper within a site.
So the AI is deciding, okay, I need to click this link to learn more.
Correct. The LRM drives this whole exploration process. It can initiate follow-up searches based on what it finds and traverse multiple links deep into a source. It's much more interactive than standard methods.
That does sound a lot more active than just getting a list of documents back. Okay, what's the second module?
The second part is the autonomous think, search, and draft strategy. This is what allows the model to blend its thinking, its web searching via the Explorer, and the actual writing of the report all together in real time.
Think, search, and draft simultaneously.
Pretty much, yeah. It's interleaved. So the AI's understanding evolves as it finds new information. It's not just researching everything first and then writing, which is, a more common pipeline approach.
That feels more like how a person might tackle a research project, right? Learning and writing iteratively.
It mirrors that workflow more closely. And to help with this, WebThinker gives the LRM 3 specific tools.
Tools, okay.
Yeah, one tool is for drafting content for specific sections of the report. Another lets it check the current state of the report, what's already been written. And a third tool is for editing the report.
So it finds something, drafts a bit using tool 1, maybe checks how it fits with tool 2, and then refines it with tool 3.
That's the idea. It allows the AI to not just find information, but actively structure, integrate, and refine its output as it goes along. Very dynamic.
How do you train an AI to use all this effectively? It sounds complex.
It uses reinforcement learning, specifically a method called iterative online direct preference optimization, or DPO.
DPO, okay.
You can think of DPO as showing the AI pairs of examples like, this way of researching and reasoning was better than that way. It learns preferences from this feedback.
So it's learning from feedback on how well it reasoned, how effectively it used those tools, and the quality of the final report it produced.
It iteratively improves its strategy based on that feedback loop.
The paper mentions they tested WebThinker pretty rigorously. What kind of benchmarks did they use?
But use some really challenging ones. There's GPQA, that's PhD-level science questions.
Wow, okay.
GAIA, which tests general AI assistance on complex, multi-step tasks.
Yeah.
WebWalkerQA, focused specifically on retrieving info deep within websites. And HLE, which stands for Humanity's Last Exam, known for extremely hard reasoning problems.
So these aren't simple Q&A tasks. They require serious reasoning and finding obscure information.
Definitely. They're designed to really push the boundaries of what AI can do.
And how did WebThinker stack up on these tough tests?
The results were quite strong. Across these different benchmarks, WebThinker consistently did better than existing methods.
Better than what, specifically? Like standard search?
Better than standard retrieval augmented generation, or ABI, where you search first, then generate.
Well, that's
Also better than more advanced ARG methods like those involving query planning or iteration, and even outperforms some proprietary systems, and another approach called Search-O1 mentioned in the paper.
Can you give a sense of how much better? Were the improvements marginal or significant?
They seemed quite significant based on the metrics reported. For instance, on GPQA, GAIA, and WebWalkerQA, it achieved notably higher pass at 1 scores.
Pass at one meaning, getting the right answer on the first try.
Yes. It suggests a much better ability to arrive at the correct, comprehensive answer directly compared to the other approaches they tested against. The paper shows some specific numbers highlighting this jump in performance.
Okay, that's impressive for question answering. But you mentioned report generation, too. How did it do there?
They used a dataset called Glaive for scientific report generation tasks. And again, WebThinker performed very well.
In what way? What makes a good AI-generated report?
The evaluation looked at things like comprehensiveness, factual accuracy, coherence, and thoroughness. WebThinker outperformed the comparison methods in overall scores, suggesting it produced higher quality reports.
So it's not just finding facts, but weaving them into a well-structured, coherent narrative.
That seems to be the case. They also did an analysis using something called TSNE visualization to look at the information scopes.
Information scopes?
Yeah, basically looking at the breadth and diversity of information sources the model used. The analysis suggested WebThinker explores and pulls together information from more diverse perspectives,
Leading to potentially richer, more well-rounded reports.
That's the implication, yes. More synthesis, less just sticking to one narrow thread.
Did they test if this WebThinker framework works with different underlying AI models? Or just one specific one?
They tested it with different sizes of the DeepSeek-R1 model family,
Yeah.
and the results held up. WebThinker consistently improved performance over just using the base model directly or using standard ARG, regardless of the model size. It suggests the framework itself is robust.
Makes sense. Lastly, they usually do ablation studies in these papers, right? Removing parts to see what breaks.
They did. Ablation studies are key to understanding what really drives the performance.
What did those studies show? What are the most crucial bits of WebThinker?
Well, removing the Deep Web Explorer entirely caused a big performance drop. So that active exploration part is definitely critical.
Okay, makes sense.
Also, the ability to actually click links, not just read search snippets, was shown to be important. And the autonomous drafting strategy, along with those check and edit tools, they all made significant contributions. Taking them away hurt the results.
So it really is the combination, the synergy of all these pieces working together. The deep searching, the navigating, the real-time writing and editing.
That seems to be the main takeaway. It's the tight integration of reasoning, dynamic web exploration, and the drafting process that gives WebThinker its edge over previous approaches that might separate these steps more rigidly.
It represents a pretty clear step forward, then, in letting AI handle complex research tasks more autonomously.
That's what the paper argues, yes. A significant advancement.
You can see how this could be incredibly useful for researchers, analysts, really anyone needing to get up to speed on a complex topic quickly and thoroughly.
Absolutely. The potential is certainly there.
So thinking about this, maybe a question for you, the listener, is how might systems like this WebThinker change the way we all learn and access information in the future? Something to ponder.
It definitely opens up possibilities.
If you want to dig deeper yourself, the research paper and the code are actually available on GitHub. We'll make sure there's a link. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thank you.